Hello, dental speakers and consultants. Thank you so much for joining me and our wonderful guest, Catherine Eitel-Belt. Thanks for being here, Catherine.
So
Uh,
glad to be with you.
it's always a delight to spend time with you, friend. And I've asked Catherine here today to be able to share with us a little bit more about her new online do-it-yourself inspirational speakers training course, which I'm so excited to hear more about. Because I know that so many of my community are at different stages of their learning process and experience process as speakers. And I think there's something for everybody in this course that will really help them tweak it to the next level when we know that speaking is one of the best ways to grow our business. This is super important. So Catherine, before we dive into learn a little bit more about the training course, could you just give us the thumbnail version of why you on this topic? What is it that brought you to this point where you're the expert or an expert for sure in this topic?
Well, thanks. Yeah, I think why me? Because I love speaking and I am a speaker, and speaking built my career. And I love sharing what I've learned and am still learning along the way. I'm a certified speaking professional, which is a tough earned designation through the National Speakers Association. So, to earn that designation, you have to show that you've spoken a lot, that you have some expertise and eloquence and the ability to craft a great speech and deliver a great speech. And so basically, I started applying adult learning principles to my teaching. And from that, we developed a course to show other trainers how to do it. And in that training course, people would say, now, does all of this apply to speaking too? And so what grew from that, as it sometimes does, was this sort of distinction between speaking and training. And so there is overlap
Mhm.
of technique and skills, but there's a lot of distinctions. And so this video series, unlike some of our other work, is dedicated to platform speaking skills, or anytime, even for a clinician or a business owner that's going to stand up before their team and deliver, at a retreat, deliver their vision and their values and try to align their team. The skills are the same. Putting that talk together and delivering it, the skills are the same. So it's really for anyone who's going to take the front of the room and try to deliver a message that will inspire people toward change.
That's fabulous. I mean, I'm so excited to walk through the course myself, and having been in your life for over 2 decades already, and having attended the live version years ago, I can only imagine how much this has grown and grown up, right? The more we deliver our content, the better and better and better it gets. So here's one question for you. And I alluded to this at the beginning, was that so many people in our community are at different places. We have people who are just starting to think about speaking, and maybe you're considering Toastmasters or something to start getting some experience, or people who've been speaking for 30 to 40 years. Is there something for everyone here, or is it geared toward a specific audience?
I think there is something for everyone. So for the brand new speaker, one of the things I think that's unique about this is you will learn a system. You'll learn a formula, almost a plug and play formula to organize your thoughts, organize your content, organize what you want to say. Our challenge as speakers is we're experts in something, and we have a lot to say about that expertise. And so sometimes, often, without training and without a system, we can fire hose our audiences with information and overwhelm them. And we know the confused mind says no. So what we want to do is not overwhelm and confuse them, but to actually sort of garden hose them, drip feed them this information in a way they can wrap their arms around it, digest it, and really use it and feel when they walk away from the presentation like they can really apply it. So I think for new speakers, there's that. There's also some attention given to how to start your speech really strong. A lot of new speakers, I certainly did when I started, start really weak. They come out and they're not really exactly sure how to start the engine. And so we teach you how to avoid opening your speech in a weaker fashion, and give you some tools so that you come out there and you kickstart that engine really strong. And then maybe more importantly than anything, for new speakers who may be feeling nervous or afraid to step on the stage, we give you what I think is a really unique way of managing your nerves, controlling your emotions, and really handling the jitters and the butterflies that we all get from time to time, and we get it a lot in the beginning. So I'll give you some really great and useful tips on how to manage that, and also how to move and deliver physically on the stage. So I think for new speakers, there's all of that. It's really
Right.
how to put the content together, how to deliver it, how to manage your nerves. For speakers who've been speaking for a while, one of the best things that I think they'll find in this video series are some elements of how to take the stories they're, because if they're experienced speakers, they've worked some stories into their and some pieces of interest into their speech and embedded it in the logic of their speech. And sometimes there can be some more interesting ways to tell the same story. So, for example, from a different perspective, or sometimes rearranging the timeline of a story. In other words, we might, instead of starting from the beginning, telling the middle, and having the ending in a linear fashion, we might consider starting in the middle of our story and then going backwards and then on to the end. It sometimes creates a more interesting way for listeners to experience your story. So there's a lot of those kinds of ideas for seasoned speakers. The other place I think seasoned speakers will really appreciate the coaching is in how to close your speech and drive business from your speech, if that is your objective. So I've given a 3-step process for how to close a speech so that you are able, especially in the dental and healthcare arena, we have to be really careful how we promote from the stage.
Yeah.
And I've been swimming in those circles for decades. And so I give some really useful tips on how to drive business without breaking any contractual obligations that we've signed on for. And so I think there's lots in this video course for both new, mid-market, and seasoned speakers. Yeah.
It sounds like it. And all those really important points as you were talking there, what occurred to me was that we were just today in a group coaching session talking about differentiation and how do we differentiate, or how do our presentations differentiate. And I often think about those adult learning concepts you were talking about at the beginning, like learning how to help transform the audience. That's definitely a selling point for someone who takes a course like this, to be able to say that, they understand how adults learn, and to be able to help help them put it into work when they get back to work, to actually move them. One thing I wanted to point out for those who are listening who may not know you, I don't know how they cannot know you, but I'm sure there's probably some people, and I'm just teasing, but so many in our circles have worked with you as a coach. You're definitely a speaker development coach for me, and have been for forever. And I know that you work with a lot of those who end up on the top 10 or winner platform at Dentistry's Got Talent year after year after year. Like Elijah goes down the line. How many have you worked with Catherine? And most of them have. I think there's something to that too, this whole idea of we need coaches ourselves, right? We're coaching others, but do we expect ourselves just to be a natural speaker, just by maybe reading about or watching, it's like, I think it's so important. So I'm really thrilled that you've brought this content in a way that gives them a bulk of essential knowledge in a way that's easy to absorb. And then of course, you're available, I'm sure, if there's anything beyond that they would like. Before we wrap up, is there anything important from the course that we haven't talked about yet?
Well, I think it's good to know that the modules are learn at your own pace, and they're short. There are 15 modules. There's an introduction and a conclusion, but the bulk of it in the coaching is in 15 modules, but they're short. Some are 5 minutes, some are 15. I think the longest one we have is 18. So they're very short, easy to digest. It comes with a downloadable workbook, and we think it's laid out in a way that you can, like I said, get your speech organized, feel good about the opening and closing, then work on your stories to make them more interesting and work on your physical delivery, how you practice. We give some tips on how to practice, how to manage your nerves, and how to drive business. So I think there's a lot in this, but it's presented in a digestible, you know,
Yeah.
easy to absorb way. Not there, you know, it's not going to take hours and hours. So I think that's one thing. The other is that, you know, this came about because we've been coaching for years, and we've coached hundreds of speakers, and many have gone on to be finalists in competitions or to win the competition. So I'm really proud of that. But also, what I found was when we would be hired either in person or virtually to coach on speaking, I was repeating a lot. I was using our sessions to teach this. So what this allows us to do is let our coachees absorb this at their own pace when they've worked through the program. Then if they want some help in applying these principles to their actual content, personal content, then of course we're still going to be available for that. But now we don't have to spend our coaching sessions teaching this information. Now we can roll up our sleeves and get to work on their presentation. So I think it's an efficient way, even if you want later or ultimately to reach out for coaching. You're so right, Vanessa, that I have a coach. I've had several speaking coaches, and as my career advances, you need different coaches at different levels. So I think school's never out for the pro, Linda Miles used to say.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so, you know, I think that's true. And I think anybody who wants to continue to be effective and powerful from the stage should consider looking at this video course and or some coaching.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. I'm just really thrilled to dive in myself. And I want to be sure and highlight the fact that you're practically giving this away right now before in our pre-launch. So could you let us know where to go and what is that offer for right now?
Right. So we're actually releasing it on February 1st. So it will be released then. But until then, we have a pre-sale or sort of advanced offer.
It's your
And
love
when
offering to the industry because it's like such an affordable price.
it is. And you know, I'm sincere that it will never be this price again. So between now and February 1st, so February 1st, it will be $9.95. But for now, it is $4.95. So half price, and we will never have it at this price again. We might run some specials, but we're not gonna ever offer it at this price. So in the next few days, if you're thinking about it and on the fence, I'd say, pull the trigger. This is gonna definitely be worth $4.95. They can find out information by going to Lionspeak's website. That's lionspeak.net/speaker course. And that should take you right to the landing page with information about what's included and a link to sign up. And then Kelly will be sending out access codes to those that have purchased by February 1st.
Oh, fabulous. And I'll be sure and put that link down below. If we have any questions, how do we reach you or Kelly?
Yeah, probably the easiest way is to shoot us an email at info@lionspeak.net. That's LIONSPEAK.net. We always say, don't go to the .com. That's Lions Peak Winery. So if you want wine, go there. But if you want speakers coaching, come to .net. And they can also call 800-595-7060. And either one of those will get you a response from Kelly or I really quickly.
Thank you so much for the gifts you have shared with our industry. For the 20 some years I've known you, you've been teaching this type of skill. You've been helping to lift your colleagues. And it's just really inspiring. I know that in the time we worked together, which has been quite some time now, it was already hundreds of colleagues that have learned from you. And I just want to encourage to anyone who has not yet worked with Catherine, maybe you're newer to speaking and consulting, that I can't highly recommend this enough. In fact, this course will be a part of our fellowship curriculum. So it's not in there for this year. It will be added next year, but know that any of you who are pursuing the fellowship with Dental Speaker Institute or interested in doing it, take advantage of the offer now. $500. It's incredible what that will do for your business. Long term, it will pay dividends 100,000 times that over time. So I just really, really want to encourage. And that's why I asked Catherine, even though you're a busy gal and you're traveling and doing things, thank you for taking time with me today to be able to share
You're
with our
welcome.
community. Multiple people have asked me, do you think I should? And I don't care who you are, I'm going to say yes, because I believe in it
Well,
that strongly, no matter where you're at on your journey. Is what I mean by that is like, yes, 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 please take advantage of this. Thank you so much for sharing your light with us and helping raise us and helping, raise our community. So thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you for saying that. And it's my pleasure. I wish I would have had this information earlier in my career. And I am optimistic that this is going to help shorten the learning curve for a lot of people, based on just years of being in the trenches myself. So I hope it's helpful, and I appreciate you, Vanessa, so much, and your community, for supporting each other and for bringing this kind of content to help us all spread. We all have a message the world needs to hear, and I hope this helps some people get their message out to the world.
Without a doubt.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for being here. Everyone, reach out to info@lionspeak.net. If you have a question, lionspeak.net/speaker course. I'll put the links down below. And until next time, everyone, be well.